Have you ever asked yourself, how could a woman say she loves me and still sleep with someone else? It sounds insane, right? It almost feels like betrayal and a love shouldn't be able to live in Thasm sentence. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Most men don't want to O-face. Love and loyalty are not the same thing, you see. A woman can still love you and yet betray the relationship in ways that leave you shattered. And it's not because you forgot to take out the trash or missed her birthday. Although, let's be real, that doesn't help either. So, much deeper, much quieter, and much more dangerous. In this video, we're going to topple back the emotional curtain and divento the hidden psychology behind why women cheat even when they're still in the silent signal. This isn't about blaming, shaming, or fueling fear. It's about understanding what most men overlook until it's too late. 'Cause the silent sign me times. It's not the loud fights that break a relationship. It's the silent signs you missed. It's a subtle shift in her energy. The way she stopped asking you to talk that moment, Shesmilled, but her eyes were somewhere else. If you've ever felt blindsided by a Bray Cooper betrayal, this video is going to hit different. Stick with me because missing just on emotional signal could cost you very thing. Let's talk about what really happens behind closed hearts. Part 1. Emotional disconnection. You know what's really dangerous in a relationship? Not fights. Not the silliness after an argument, but when everything seems fine and deep down she's already drifting away. Most men think women cheat because they've stopped loving. But more often, it's because they've stopped feeling connected. Distracted, numb, she still loves you. But she no longer feels you. You're in the same room, but emotionally, she's alone. Maybe you're working long hours trying to provide. Maybe you're stressed, distracted, numb. She understands she's not asking for the world. But she still feels seen, heard, felt, and here's the scary part. Sometimes all it took is one deep conversation with Sumia Niels. Emotional affairs. Begins someone you owe listens without judgment. Hannah teases her mood. Who asks her how she's really doing for her heart to remember what connection feels like. And that one crack, that small opening, that's how emotional affairs begin. And let me tell you, emotional cheating cuts to perth and physical, because once hearth left, her body might still better, but the bond is gone. Ask yourself emotional revenge. One was the last time you truly looked at her in thighs and saw her. Not Harold as a mom, not her as your partner, but her the woman, the soul. Don't wait until emotional revenge's Somionel sees what you've stopped noticing. Let's keep going. Whoa, emotional revenge. Let's talk about something most people never see coming: emotional revenge. You see, a woman doesn't have to hate you to betray. She might still love you, cook for you, laugh at your jokes. But deep inside, women carry wounds. She's carrying wounds you never bother to notice. Maybe you brushed off her feelings. Maybe you media joke at her expense in front of all her friends. Or maybe you just kept buying too busy Theon time. She really needed you and shuttled you. It was fine. Shez moved on. Didn't make a scene. Bothers the truth. Emotional pain. Emotional pain descent. Disappear. It stores, and one day she meets someone. Emotional. Painsome someone who holistics without interpreting, who makes sure feel visibligan. Who gives her a hug, not just with arms, but with presence. And in that moment, she may cross a line. Not because she's planning to cheat, but because something inside her says, finally, someone sees me. This isn't lust, it's not even desire. It's a subconscious cry for justice. Emotional justice. Not revenge with anger, beautiful, devastating form of it. She emotional justice seated, want to hurt you. She just want the pain to mean something. And sometimes validation from the wrong person feels like healing until it breaks everything. So ask yourself, what wounds have you left unspoken in her heart? Let's keep going because the next emotional starvation eyes on is even more unexpected. Part 3. Emotional starvation. Let's get real about something. Most men overlook emotional starvation. You might think you're doing everything, right? You work hard. You're faithful. You come home every night. Presence isn't connection, but her rest. Uncomfortable truth. Presence isn't connection. And love it nourishment. A woman can still love you and feel emotionally starving. Not because you're absent, but because you're all not emotionally present. Shadow scent crave a new body. K, she craves new feelings. If I notice being heard, feeling alive again. An emotional starvation is, it doesn't scream, it whispers. Whispers that build up over time. Like when the coworker listens out emotional starvation, checking his phone or emotional oxygen one, a stranger says, "You changed your hair. It looks great." Or when someone asks how she's really doing and actually waits for the answer. That's not about flirting. That's about being fed with attention, validation, emotional oxygen. Because love isn't just about buying her. It's about making her feel seen, not just as a partner or mom, but as a woman full of depths, complexity, and fire. And if she's starving for too long, she won't scream. Slowly detach. And then in days, someone else becomes the meals was starving for. So ask yourself, are you feeding her heart or just sharing space? Let's keep going. It gets even deeper from here. Part 4. Repressed desires. The silent time bomb. Sometimes a woman doesn't cheat to lever pro disarrest you. She cheats to find herself. Again, let me explain. In a world that often tells women to be quiet, composed, selfless, quiet, composed, many learn to suppress their deepesters. Their sensuality, their fire, their emotional complexity. Not because Effie want to, but because Effie thinks thoughts, what a good woman do. She tones it down, plays the part, swallows her needs in the name of love, loyalty, or survival. But here's the truth most people ignore. What's buried isn't dead, it's just waiting. And over time, the treasure-storied part begins to stir. She starts to remember the woman's shoes to be Theon who laughed to LWD, danced without shame, spoke her truth without fear. Undone day. That part refuses to stay silent. Not to destroy the relationship, but to claim Resorian's self she lost inside it. This is a betrayal, resurrection. It's like holding your breath for years, suddenly gasping for air. So when she meets someone whose seizure awakened to reminds her she's Morathon, just a role she's been playing. Something cracks open how to love. Yourself not, because she stopped loving you, but Becca's chef Warget how to love herself. So the question isn't, why did she cheat? It's what part of her did she have Tobery with you? Let's go deeper because Ethan next reason might surprise you. Evan Moore Part 5 Fantasy Escape Syndrome. Let me ask you something. Annie's looked around at tour life and thought, is this a question, but powerful is same one that creeps into the heart of a woman who's been stuck in routine for too long. It's not that she wants Tachier. It's that wants to escape. Escape not from you, but from a version of herself that feels trapped. It's trapped in motherhood, in responsibility, in predictability. Love didn't die. Scott. Buried love didn't do her. Dishes, deadlines, any same dinner conversations night after night. And one day she meets Simone. Not necessarily better, but different. It's exciting, unpredictable, maybe even a little dangerous. But Waith really represents this possibility. The possibility of being seen as desirable again, of feeling wild, free, wanted like she used to before life, came a checklist. This is fantasy. Escape syndrome, what we call fantasy escape syndrome. And it's more common than you think. She's not running from you. She's running toward a feeling she thought shaylist forever. And if here at Realitifals, suffocating, even a brief taste off that, fantasy can feel like kyoxagon. Suth's real question is, has life with you become something she's desperate to escape, or something she can breathe in again? Let's keep going, Beckos. Then next reason goes even deeper. Part 6. Curiosity and validation. Curiosity and validation. Sometimes it's not about pain. It's not about neglect. It's about curiosity. USA, some women didn't cheat because he's there broken. They cheat because he's there wondering, do I still have it? Am I still desirable, attractive, magnetic? And in a world that constantly tells women's their value fades with age, that youth equals beauty and bod equals worth, that vaniticarios with every year that vanitica pisses. This isn't vanity. To feel wanted again, it's not just loved, but longed for. Because love say so matter, but desire say still excite. And here's the thing, in today's world validation is always sent tap away. A stranger's compliment, a flirty DM on Instagram, a like that, feels more like Alaflene. It's not that she wants to leave you. Thatch wants to prove to herself that she's still alive in so man's eyes. And Sydney, tiny ego boost. That digital spark turns into a digital spark flame. Not because she's looking for love elsewhere, but because stop bid seeing reflection of her value in your eyes. To ask yourself, when was the last time you made her feel chizen? Like Shua, still the woman you'd chase all over again. Let's go. One endlessly deeper loneliness. Because what happens next isn't about desire, it's about survival. Part 7. The loneliness inside stable relationships. Let's talk about a kind of loneliness no one warns you about. The kind they texts inside. A relationship that looks perfect from Thiasa. You've got the house. You've got the schedule, their responsibility, the routines down tones. There's no chaos, no fights, everything's fine. But that's the problem base. Sometimes fine is where love goes to die quietly. She doesn't feel unsafe. She doesn't feel unloved. Shagis doesn't feel alive anymore. Shki's net craving drama. Ski's craving a pulse. The feeling of shared laughter, meaningful silence, spontaneous connect, the heartbeat of a drifting away relationship that still feels like something. And over time, when that drifting away spark is gone, she's not walking away from you. She's slowly drifting away from herself. That's the most dangerous kind of affair. Not the one sparked by her, but the one born out of emptiness. The kind of emptiness where a woman looks around and says, I have everything, but I no longer have me. It's not that she wants more. She just wants to feel like herself again. The version of her that smiled without trying, that danced in the kitchen, that felt seen, not just supported. So, is your relationship secure? Here's the question for every mom watching. Is your relationship secure, or is it silently suffocating? Let's wrap this up, because what comes next is the most powerful truth of all. So what do you do with all of this? How do you protect a relationship without protecting a relationship, Pinto? Someone new home monitors questions or trees to control? The answer is simple, but no tease. You stop trying to control her and be presents. Start learning how to connect with her. See her not just as your partner, but as a whole human being. A woman with feelings that don't always make sense. Contradictions that shift, and a depth that can't be measured in checklists. Represent, not just physically, but emotionally, not just during the big moments, but in quiet, ordinary ones. Beckos. The way you look at her when she walks in his room tells her more than 1,000 words ever could reflect her value back to her. Make her feel chosen again and again. Keep things fresh. Keep things fresh talking. Respect her mind. Protect her heart. Give her the safety to feel and the space to be. Because most women didn't cheat because they've stopped loving you. They cheat because they stop seeing femmes in your eyes. And when a woman feels truly seen, known, and emotionally safe, she won't go looking Jalausher. She won't need to. So don't just love her. Learn her. See her. Outro show up for her. If this message hit them, don't just let it fade. Act on it. Grow from it. All right. And if you're ready to go to pour into love connection, path off stoicism, subscribe now, or Raju's getting started. Take care.